What's up, YouTube? This is Crazy Hatchet Life, and I am going to be doing yet another review. This time it's going to be due to a movie. It's called The Final, and this movie came out in 2010. It's about 2 years old now, well, a year and some odd months. Oh, if you're wondering, yeah, I shaved. I look like a fucking 60-year-old boy. Anyways, yeah, this movie was part of Horror Fest of 2010. I didn't even hear about it until like I was surfing the internet one time and I just popped it. It just popped up on me. Basically, just think of the ultimate revenge movie for any bullying people, like people who just constantly get ripped on and taunted and all that. This is like the ultimate fuck you. Like it's basically about all these kids. I want to say about four guys and one chick. And then there's a set of triplets that are roaming the forest in this area. Pretty much, this one dude, the leader, I want to say his name is Dane or Danny or something. He gets a house in the middle of nowhere, thanks to his great uncle. His great uncle passed away in the will. He got the house, and his friend Ravi, who's a Indian kid, and I'm talking about like Middle Eastern Indian, not Native American. He's getting constantly terrorized by bullies, just like everybody else. This chick Emily, the girl of the group, she's a goth chick. Kind of just wants to be friends with people, but the cheerleaders and bitches of schools don't like her just for she's different. There's a guy named Jack. He's usually quiet. He plays the banjo, which is pretty badass. I mean, I think the banjo's awesome. And I want to say there's another person, but it's not coming to my mind. Anyways, they're all friends with this one dude named Curtis, who's like a very popular guy. If I can't remember the real name, the name's actor, but he played the son in Big Mama 1 and 2. He played Trent. You can probably look him up if you Wikipedia search. Sorry, my glasses were hurting me. Wikipedia search the movie. Let's see. Well, the movie starts off with them slowly introducing everybody, or at least the main talking cast. Jack doesn't really talk much until towards the end. It kind of makes you feel sympathy for these guys. I mean, they're not really doing anything to get dealt with. I mean, they're not. I mean, it's like typical high school. I mean, this really could happen to anybody. I mean, I was fucking tortured all my life. I mean, from elementary, like you wouldn't think people would get bullied in first grade, but I got bullied in first grade, and I didn't stop until about 10th or 11th. And honestly, dude, I just fucking got tired, and I just beat the shit out of some dude. But that's a story for another time. That'll probably be one of my reflections. So just stay tuned for that for another time. Anywho, yeah, it just shows these normal kids. I mean, kind of makes you wonder, like, why we let things happen like this. I mean, I'm not saying be a hero and beat the shit out of somebody that's making fun of another person, but just don't be that dick. I mean, Curtis wasn't. I mean, he was nice to these guys, and they all said, Robbie said to them, we all agree we like him, we don't want him to be at the party. They're sending the party. They make it seem like they weren't invited, like they had no idea who it was, and it was going to be a Halloween party because it's based around Halloween. And let's see, like it's based around Halloween, so they invite everybody to the Halloween party. They disguise themselves in very kick-ass costumes. Props to the character who played Robbie, R-A-V-I. He dressed up like kind of like a sick psycho clown, man. I mean, it was very reminiscent of Horny the Clown from Drive Through, another movie I'll be reviewing. This movie is very sick, especially if you're Juggalo. He actually carries a fucking hatchet that looks like it's on fire, but it's not. Let's see. The leader, he dresses kind of like a weird almost Nazi-ish. Emily, she dresses up like a nurse, like a twisted-looking nurse, if I'm not mistaken, or like a fairy or something. And I want to say Jack dresses up like a welder. Well, anyways, pretty much they drug the punch. Everybody gets knocked the fuck out, and that's when, the nerds, I'll call them outcasts. The outcasts decide to change their look and start chaining everybody to the floor. And one by one, they don't kill everybody right off, but they start torturing people. Like, one dude gets a fucking bull gun, those pressurized air cannons, gets shot in the face and in the leg. If I'm not mistaken, he also gets shot in the abs. It's very brutal, but like also very entertaining. I mean, if you're a tortured guy or girl, that you're gonna be like, fuck yeah, fuck that wannabe jock and all that shit. Emily, she fucking starts putting hypodermic needles, those needles that relieve pressure. It's not coming off the top of my head. Well, she starts putting those needles in one of the other jocks' bodies after giving him a sedative that makes him no longer feel like he feels pain, but he can't move or talk, which is probably the ultimate torture. Like, you want to scream, but you can't, and it's fucked up. At one point, they let this one guy go, and he promises everybody, I'm going to bring back the police and all that. They let him go, the triplets get to him, and they just beat the shit out of him on ATVs after he gets caught in a bear trap. Curtis manages to leave because Robbie gives him the key to his chain, and he takes off running. For that, Dan just starts going mad with power, and he stabs him. He stabs Robbie. Robbie doesn't die just yet. Spoiler about that. He does die. Let's see. And the movie keeps going on. Curtis, he's a black guy, obviously. Like I told you, he played Trent. He runs up to like this old veteran, and usually veterans tend to be racist, especially in movies. He didn't believe that a black guy with a gun is trying to help people and trying to get help. He holds him hostage, and eventually he does believe him. He goes out on his own, manages to kill two of the triplets, and but he ultimately dies. Throughout the scenes, Emily basically forces this one girl who's featured in the beginning of the movie as the deformed girl. I can't remember the name. I want to say it's Heather. She is forced to cut off the fingers of one of her people if she wants to be let go, but she can't bring herself to do it. So to not be no longer in pain, this dude cuts her fingers off. She manages to cut 2 fingers off. And she also has like this weird cream or jelly smeared on her face that starts corrosively eating at her and irritating her and burning her skin. It's pretty badass. Let's see. So, like I said, Dan or Dane or whatever his name is starts going crazy. He starts getting really abusive of power. Kills Robbie, and I believe also kills Emily. Kills Robbie, and Emily's tired of this, so she kills Dane. Because basically he's becoming what they hated. And that's just somebody that's torturing people just for the sake of torturing. Jack kills Emily. It's starting to sound like a damn soap opera, but Jack kills Emily, and the police kill Jack, and everybody's let go, and the police don't know why. They were like, oh, all these kids were just tortured and killed because nobody knows. These kids were all innocent. Nah, bullshit. If that ever happened, there's probably a goddamn good reason, but that news report would just make everybody seem like we're crazy. Like, the people who did it are crazy, and they kind of are for doing it, but it would be justified in people's eyes in some places. Anyways, I give the movie 4 out of 5 stars. It was pretty good. Look it up. That was been a Blast From Me review about the final. Hope you enjoyed it.